Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to Planet Marzipan, the Fish and Marillion podcast. I'm Meza, and here's my mate.
Craig Houston.
Hello, and welcome to Planet Marzipan with me, Meza, and my good friend
Craig, and we are still in PZ.
Yes, it's part 2 of Port Zealand 2025, and we've taken a different tack for this episode, folks. Not the rowdiness you heard in the first one. This is Sunday morning, so you know you've got a different. But amazingly, when I tell you the names of the people that are here, you won't believe it's Sunday morning because we've got Graham Tennick.
Morning, how you doing?
Or should I say, the remains of Graham Tennick.
The remains of Graham Tennick, yeah.
And the remains of Andrew Barnsley Wood.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
And
Top of the morning.
if you've ever been to Port Zealand, Andrew Barnsley Wood doesn't exist in the morning. So this is amazing.
And also, an episode title that we've actually already done, we also have with us the remains of Tim Sidwell.
Yeah, Tim's here, which capturing some video. But yeah, we're here to talk about
What video?
You know, Darren. What was that word that Darren could pronounce?
Took him ages kicking it.
Yeah. But folks didn't. We'll come on to it in a minute. But folks didn't understand the Yorkshire accent, didn't they? But we'll get on to that. So we're going to talk. We talked about Wednesday and Thursday in the first episode. So this is Friday and Saturday. So Friday during the day, what did you get up to during the day? Can you remember?
Yeah, so Friday morning for me was up and yoga with Nikki. The fact that
You're having a laugh.
1-to-1. No, it's a class. So it was a class because she obviously Nikki Arell's doing the did it Friday and Saturday morning.
Yeah,
she
I
did
think
it.
so, yeah.
And me turning up, she was just like, "What are you doing here?" Because normally I'm under a table somewhere. So so she was quite surprised. Then I did the mark run.
Wow.
2 words.
Yeah, so, 2 words. I am a man.
Glutton and punishment.
Yeah, and then I just went around and spoke to people and like caught up with people I hadn't seen for years and what have you, and got ready for the gig. Yeah.
So you set off with the best intentions, didn't you? Thursday was really, I'm going to be a good boy.
Yeah.
And then, I'm jumping ahead slightly, but yesterday it didn't quite go to plan, did it?
No, it didn't.
No.
No.
Okay, all right. What did you get up to, Baz? Were you at?
Friday. Was Friday the Pink Floyd recreating of Live at Pompeii outside our flat day?
I think.
Yeah, we did a. I told you this. On the short of it, we recreated.
Not on here, you have.
All right, tell everyone. On the short of it, we came with this harebrained scheme of just listening to Pink Floyd while stood outside drinking beer. But what really happened was our neighbours had a full sound system with massive speakers and blasted out all of Pink Floyd's early catalogue. Right. Well, we all stood in the line drinking red wine out of a foot spa.
Yeah.
Classy stuff.
The foot bar comes up again, doesn't it?
It does, well,
Talk
the
about the quiz, but we'll be again.
It was technically punch we were making in the foot spa.
Well, what worried me was there was bubbles in the punch, and I'm not sure where the bubbles came from.
I'll tell you what now I can reveal. We didn't wash it out.
Oh. Cheesy feet punch. Nice.
Left there, Yorkshire tea, it was all good in there.
Can you get in total for
A
Lucas?
whole orange, an whole apple, and a full banana. Oh, God.
Bonkers. All right. What did we get up to on Friday?
God, what were we here?
Sorry? We were here, yeah.
Were we on Friday?
I think we were in the market down. We're doing a bit of socialising, weren't we? And
You being a tart,
a bit of chatting, and then the Friday gigs, Marillion weren't on, were they?
No.
So there was the Lucy's audience with Marillion on Friday.
which was excellent.
Very good.
It was entertaining, and Lucy decided to tell us which big news that we might come back again.
She told us about the infrastructure of the old national grid of Netherlands.
Yeah, no, there is a chance as Lucy's just announced, and you may have heard, listeners, on this very podcast a couple of weeks ago, that we might come back to Port Zealand because the solar panels might not be erected in the car park, which will allow the tent to be built again. So all of you that have bought a farewell to Port Zealand t-shirt, if you'd like to email sales@racket... No.
Reprint 27 over the 25, please.
They'll send you a sticker with a revisited on.
Also, if you need to know the full workings of the Netherlands electric grid, just contact Barn.
Yeah, Barnes has a working knowledge of this.
It's all about gigawatts, guys. It's all about gigawatts.
Yeah. But what else was on the... what other gems were on the audience with?
Well, I learned that age can't count.
That
was definitely...
Yeah.
Oh, look, as well.
Well, Lucy did a bit of a band quiz, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
On things like how many gigs have the band played and what else.
Of which clearly they got no idea.
How many sales they'd had at Racket? How many individual sales they'd had at Racket? Which is quite a good number.
800,000.
Yeah.
That was...
I think 200 of those are mine.
Yeah.
As in 200,000.
200,000 of those are mine. Yeah.
And what else was it? There was like, what song have they played the most at the weekends? And Mark got it right.
Garden Pie. Yeah.
I'm like, really? But yeah.
I'd have to check that.
I'm going to have to fact check that.
I'm feeling that Fraser may be wrong, and if I am, but I think those questions may have come from Fraser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely.
That is it, definitely.
There were one or two. Shut up.
It reminds me of a certain quiz round from years ago called "How the fuck did he?"
Yeah, which we did on stage with the band. Yeah. But there were once those questions kicked in, there were some interesting messages flying around our quiz group, weren't there?
Indeed so.
Right.
I'll let you say because I can't remember any of it.
Fuck have we asked?
No, they're going about the Netherlands one. Netherland one.
Yeah, well,
And they explain that.
we'll talk about that in a minute when we do Saturday. Yeah, but it was really good, and the band got presented with gold discs.
Yeah, and I'm trying to work out, is that, it was an Impala Gold, because I zoomed in on the thing, which is 75,000 sales in Europe.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's equivalent sales from streaming and everything put together.
But no, because an hour before it's dark, I think when it first came out, I think Lucy put a post on within a couple of weeks that get 2 million streams.
Right, okay. Yeah, so I think, but a stream, I think it's 1,000 streams equals a sale.
Mm.
So it's quite possible, yeah, but so that's 75,000 sales they've had, of the album.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for going for honest.
Yeah.
It's modern era, definitely.
Yeah, really good. And there was lots of recognition for the racket team, which was great. And also, did they thank Centre Parks? I think they did, didn't they?
No, they forgot.
We'll say they did, but I can't remember.
They did, yeah.
She forgot because there was a message and she's apologised and said I'll do it. But
Oh, right, okay.
Are we going to thank Centre Parks for it?
Yeah, we'll thank Centre Parks on their behalf. Yeah.
Have we discussed the yellow tokens yet, or is that for later in the...
You can go for yellow tokens.
I want to we'll put it on the end.
No. If it's a burning issue, please raise it.
It's not an issue, but it's now taken on day 10 or whatever. We've been here so long, everyone's just about gagged. If you don't take your glass back, you've got to buy another one or get a yellow token. So
I see some people that actually have issues.
Can I glasses that people drop at the end of the night?
Graham's just produced 4 yellow tokens.
That's only the ones I brought with me.
Oh, you go. I knew somebody would go around and hoover them up. I didn't think it'd be you.
It's a national pastime in the Netherlands, collecting plastic.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, the audience with was good fun, and then the headliner on Friday night was, I'm going to pass you to Graham because I can't pronounce her name.
So I'm going to say Anneke van Giersbergen. I'm sure it's Anneke, not Anneke.
Yeah.
And how was that?
So
I know Mark Kennedy.
Mark,
This was the night of his life, bless him.
it was Mark Kennedy. So I'm going to be really honest, and I left.
Oh.
And I left early because the first 3 or 4 tracks, the sound was, everything was up to 11.
Yeah.
And it was literally you couldn't hear the violin, you couldn't hear all the instrumentation, and she was belting over the top trying to. I knew what the songs were,
Yeah.
but I couldn't hear anything. I am absolutely gutted because I've read loads of people saying that from track 4 or 5, somebody went back to their sound engineer and said, "Are you in deaf?"
Yeah.
And it just became amazing.
I've
And
seen loads of great reviews for it online.
seriously, and there's a couple of the songs she played later on in the set, which I really wish I'd, because I've never seen live, and I was like, bollocks. But it was a really interesting set because it played a lot of the, it was, if you listen to her new EP, it's kind of, there's a folky element to it. It's like all that kind of, it's very acoustic and quite light, and even when it rocks up, it's not heavy. She started, do you want me to go through the set?
Yeah.
Right, so the set list she did was, the songs were You Will Never Change, She, which is stunning, absolutely brilliant. Even though I couldn't hear it properly, I knew the song and I was going along with it because it's just one of those brilliant songs. Too Late, the May song, My Promise, I Saw a Car, More Than 1,000 Words, Survive, Saturnine, You Want to Be Free, When I Die, Heal Me, Running Up That Hill, which I'm pissed off I missed.
Invisible Touch.
Hang on a minute. Stay. One more no second, and then she played Strange Machines as the end of the main set, and I'm gutted I missed that because that was a really, really, really fucking brilliant song.
Right.
And then she opened her encore with Follow You, Follow Me.
Did she?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, and then 3 more tracks: Hurricane, Mental Jungle, and Witnesses. And having seen the set list,
Yeah.
devastated.
I'm sorry, because I think I kind of coaxed you out of there, but
But there was a constant stream of people, though. When we came out, there was a good few people coming out.
I mean, you could tell a lot of people stayed because we went to the we went to the Market Dome and had some drinks. The reason that we bailed out is pretty pathetic, really. But with the fish gigs rolling into this, I'm old as well, yeah. With the fish gigs rolling into this, we just needed to preserve some energy to get through the end of the weekend. Don't do quite so close, Tim, for that. No, because I am old. Yes.
I said to you on the previous time we've sat this weekend and talked, and I wish I'd been as sensible as you, because having done the fish gigs and then come to this, my body's just screaming at me now.
Yeah,
it's just like, you need to sleep.
But it's a shame because I wanted to see her because I've heard lots of good things about her. But I think a lot of people did enjoy it, and that's the important thing to stress.
I was at the Rocky Oki after the gig.
Yeah.
And everybody that came in, even people that had never seen before, said once it settled down, it was astounding.
Yeah.
And it was essentially the first date on a forthcoming tour.
Yeah, and she's not used. A lot of the fans don't know her. She doesn't generally play to big 3,000, 4,000 crowds or anything like that in big, So I think it went down really, really well, and Mark will be chuffed because
He was really pleased. He was yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd taken a Viagra. He was walking out. Massive hard on for the rest of the night.
We'll catch up with Mark and Vanessa on it.
Yeah. So that was Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
If I may, and I've not got the wrong day. What day was the rock disco and the prog disco? Is that Friday? Or was that Thursday? I can't remember.
Thursday.
We haven't really
How long have you been here? I literally don't remember what night.
When did you arrive?
I arrived on Wednesday, but it seemed like I've been here a lifetime.
They were, yeah. Do you want to talk about them?
Well, only
You were DJing
I was DJing again, yeah. For the third time running, I got
in the prog disco.
in a prog disco, stitched up by, I'll say stitched up if Stefan is listening, because she, yet again, didn't warn me till 1 minute before I went up on stage.
Yeah, but I think you'd done some prep this time.
Well, I had. I charged my battery this time.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I got it prepped, so I went straight on with the Los Endos, and that was it. Got on by the Jaffers.
Did you?
You could actually, could always there. Yeah.
Never seen so much air drumming in your life.
Did we see the prog conga though?
There was a prog conga, but that was Stephanie did that.
Okay.
So yeah, she
You can't say it that way.
can't take the claim for that now.
Yeah, we didn't get to any of the discos and things and stuff this year because we came straight back here to record episode 1.
We did actually. Yeah. It was that was pretty lively as well. But yeah.
Oh yes.
Sorry we missed it, but it sounds like it was a good big success.
It was epic. It was epic. Yeah.
Hang on. Where are we? 13 minutes in, and Mr. Wood has said the word epic.
Without swearing in front.
Yeah, amazing.
So Tim, what did you get up to on your what's the second and third night?
Yeah.
Well, I've been here since Monday, so I assume I'm completely in the Port Zealand. No idea what day it is, what year it is, where on the planet I am. But we've had a really successful time so far. Yeah, I mean, the shows have been looking great on camera. Jens has done an absolutely amazing, stellar job with the light
Yeah,
shots.
yeah.
And I mean, tonight as well is going to be.
Well, it's changed again. It changed from Thursday. Last night's lighting was slightly different, wasn't it?
He always tries to put something a little bit different in each night.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the rig. I mean, you should see the amount of lights up on stage. I mean, from the audience.
From the audience, it looks crazy.
Yeah, but you get up on stage and it's bonkers. I think I don't think there's any tours going out in the UK at the moment because Jens has got all the lights. Yeah, so obviously we've shot the shows, and on Friday we were around the park filming a lot of people just having a chill day, sounding session, what's been going on in merch, trying to cover everything, you know.
Speaking of covering everything,
Oh, I was going to say,
Jimmy Wace could have done with something.
I'm going to say, was everybody suitably dressed?
You've got a hell of a job on your hands to get this across in a documentary.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've probably seen that we've been asking people to send in their footage.
Yeah.
Landscape, of course.
Of course.
Of course, yes. So
in less than a minute.
So the hope is that, you know, loads of people have been filming bits and pieces, you know, their journey here, what they've been up to, who they're sharing their chalets with, and, you know, all the traditions and everything else that they've built up over the years coming to Port Zealand. And hopefully we'll build up a really nice picture of what it's been like to be here for the last 18 years and possibly beyond, as you say.
You can sell it in the next one.
Well, you know, I was thinking of calling the documentary something like End of an Era, but yeah.
End of
Yeah, possibly.
It's like yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you've been around the park. Your guys have been all over, haven't they? So
Yeah.
we've certainly seen you in a few places. But
And we also try and enjoy it as much as everybody else within reason. But we had a rare night off on Friday night. Obviously, we filmed the audience with.
yeah,
So that's all in the can. And after that, we were straight down the Adventure Factory, or the Action Factory, as
it is. Yes, been
isn't it? Well, in my mind, it tells us still Billy's Burgers.
Still Billy's Burgers from 2007. That's not good at it.
So Saturday morning was a little bit ropey, but yeah.
Yeah, and the merch team have had a slightly different sort of arrangement this time, haven't they? Because, I mean, the merch, they served 3 times as many people as normal on the first day.
Yeah.
But by...
I mean, the queues are still massive, aren't they?
Well, some people had finished working at merch on Friday, so they could have a couple of days enjoying
They're not open today either.
They're not open today, Sunday, as we're talking. No, they're packing everything up today, which is much better for them. They get to enjoy some time and some gigs.
Yeah. We did a good interview with Georgina on Friday.
Yeah.
And she was saying that, you know, some people have been queuing for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the fact that all the Farewell to PZ t-shirts were sold out by day 2 or whatever.
I arrived at 1 o'clock on Thursday, they're gone.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I think there might be a few mediums left if anyone's interested.
Nobody on this podcast. No. Or maybe Graham.
No, trust me, it may look all right, but it's not. You know, medium is not the
Oh, yoga Tennick here. He might be all right with it, yeah.
But it's been really good atmosphere in the tent. Everybody's, you know, throughout the day, during sound check and everything, everybody's sort of just diligently getting on with their jobs. And I suppose it's a bit like putting on a comfortable pair of slippers, isn't it? Yeah. Everybody knows where stuff plugs in. And
Yeah. It's good. It's really good.
I do have to ask though, see the shoulder cam, see the guys that walk around with the cameras and they've been doing it during the day, you know. I mean, are they heavy? Because bloody hell, it's like
yeah, they Russ and John last night, they came backstage. They looked like broken. We've got Dave and Doddy on the front on the track cameras. They're just like, whoa, this beautiful kind of smooth tracking things, and the boys up on stage with a handheld camera, like, oh my god.
Are they not going to get a chance to swap thing with you?
Well, you've got your area of expertise.
Yeah.
Stick to it, yeah.
But it's all been looking great, and I can't wait to.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I mean, the films that you produce, the live shows are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it helps with Jens's magic. I think you know, you know, I mean, you know, don't you?
Yeah.
You've got to have good lighting for any kind of video,
lighting.
whether it's drama, music, whatever. It's got to be that makes or breaks it.
there's been people looking behind as well. So when, you know, especially last night, when the lasers were on and everything.
Yeah.
All the shapes at the back of the hall and all that kind of stuff, not just up, but behind you as well.
Yeah,
It was just-
So one of those broken men on a handheld camera was right centre back of stage, reverse shot out.
right.
There's a really lovely shot of H singing and all those patterns
Yeah.
sort of playing on the back of the
It's
tent.
really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Actually, one of the interesting things, some of the guys that we were talking to in the crowd last night was talking about the podcast and stuff like that, and they say that they really, really love hearing like any technical stuff. So maybe that's one of the things we might talk about down the line.
Yes.
Don't ask me.
What about power distribution? I'm interested in that.
That's our first piece of bonus content, folks.
The Dutch national grid.
Barnsley's TED Talk.
Connected to Europe, things like that. We could do that.
We can talk about the technicalities because it's not just the cameraman. Backstage, I've got Steve Gould sitting next to me doing the vision engineering, so he's constantly going through all the cameras throughout the gig, just adjusting exposures, instructing the guys to put filters in the cameras, and just making sure that everything's spot on and looking really good going into the can as it speaks.
So he's got like comms with the cameramen.
We all have.
They all have-
We'll talk to each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
It's like the Secret Service, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a sniper up in the bleachers.
And for the last 2 or 3 PZs, we've been using, so Cyan are the company that supply all the lights for Marillion tours, and they have done for years and years and years and years. And during COVID lockdown, they invested in a load of camera gear, and we did a couple of things at their place during lockdown, one with Howard Jones and one with Thunder. And they've been building up their rig ever since, and they send all the cameras out on tours with bands with the IMAX screens, so when you're in an arena or something, you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's really good that they come along with that, and we don't have another company coming in and everything.
Yeah.
You know, because Stevie Finch and Mark, they've worked with Marillion for years and years, so the whole team spirit backstage. Everybody knows what each other's does. Nobody steps on each other's toes. Stumpy, the production manager, might shout at us because we're sharing a room, and if he so much as put a camera battery on his table, it's death by 1,000 Scottish sabres.
Yeah. But you know what's coming. You know what to do to press that button and get him to react like that.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I mean, we're really looking forward to the films, aren't we? It'll be brilliant.
If I could come here, John, I'd just like to introduce someone else to the podcast.
This fly.
Around your kitchen.
It is.
That dead body in here or something.
That's just Dave. That's Dave. Tommy from there. Yeah.
If he lies still for too long,
We need to come to the next day, Barnes, which is the centrepiece of the weekend,
Oh, all right.
which is your stage debut this weekend
Oh, yeah.
in the Port of Zealand quiz.
In the quiz, yeah. Yeah, I went for a fetching pair of white trousers on this occasion.
You did?
Flowery trousers and a green top, red Crocs and Hawaiian lei. I went for that
Was it look?
presentation
Was it
today.
look?
for more fashion advice, contact Barnes.
So, about your dress sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sits.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Didn't say it was sensible. Okay. When we were at the street party on the Friday,
Oh, yeah.
one of the young lads was with me. You stepped into the paddling pool
For no reason, yeah.
for no reason and got out again. And you had those. Were they blue? The big,
Oh, they would be my green banana trousers.
yeah, and then whatever. And he went, "Is he on something?" I went, "No, that's him. that is what we get.
Yeah,
That's what you get."
He's on holiday. That's what it is. He's on holiday.
Yeah. But yeah, we Saturday lunchtime was the Marillion quiz,
Mhm.
and it was in the Action Factory.
The Adventure Factory.
Okay. And big team. We had Darren on here to talk about the quiz in the lead up to Port Zealand, so you know a little bit about that.
Oh, what about the lead up to the quiz? Because on the way to the quiz, we got accosted by stoppers.
sorry.
at
Yes. We tried to
Look.
walk past their chalet. Yeah.
Yes, we're not allowed to go past that
Oh,
shop
no.
without going
You
in.
broadcast live, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah.
We were playing Grendel. We were enticed in by Grendel. It was a little loose, but that was okay. But they're selling CDs out of their chalet.
They are. They've posted like half a dozen times.
We
Chalet numbers.
called in on the way back last night, and there's a queue of blokes. Right.
Yeah.
I think it was CDs. I'm not sure.
Why not?
Might be filling out.
It wasn't quite 3 hours, but there was a decent stream of people.
They all had long Macs. It was weird.
Yeah.
It's like a dress. No.
Anyway, back to your quiz.
Anyway, yeah. Well, no.
What time did you Saturday start though? 'Cause you were in bed early, weren't you? Did you get up early? 'Cause
probably about 6.
okay.
Knowing
That's
me.
not bad for you, is
It's
it?
not bad.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
didn't get to
bad.
bed till 5, so which is
Oh, hang on. Did you not have a listening party?
listening. Oh no, that was another night. That was another night.
No.
We done that.
No, it was Friday night.
Oh, Friday night.
So it's Saturday.
Yeah. So you got a listening party.
Actually, I was up because
That's right.
we
yeah.
played the Stephen Wilson album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was up at 6 on Saturday.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a list, if I may. We had a listening party. We got all the disco lights out and everything.
Did you?
Obviously, we went straight through Steve Wilson, and then we went into is it Making Movies or Love Over Gold, which is the better album. Then we did is it Wham Fantastic or Making Big. And at that point, I went to bed, and then 4 hours later, it was still going. The story.
Yeah.
Because on Friday night we were pretty much the last people in the market dome, which is not like
So, yeah.
we didn't leave there because we ended up getting a lift back on the golf cart with Alan.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning. I spoke to George because she was wondering whether he actually got it because she was on an early shift on the Saturday morning, so I was speaking to her, and she just popped her head round the door just to make sure that he was there.
That was interesting. Flying round the park in the pitch dark at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Alan was lost. He got lost in this golf bucket. Some poor sods are walking down the street, and he's hurtling towards them.
Down me into the pond.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Talking of getting lost, did you enjoy Haunt the Woods last night?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So apparently they got here on Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
and Stephanie told me yesterday that she had a phone call from them last night as they were coming in. No, yesterday afternoon when they were coming to soundcheck. They'd got lost from the cottage to the tent,
Easy done.
so you almost didn't have a support band.
It's easy done. No, they were brilliant. But we will talk about that. Yeah.
Hold the woods to lost in the woods.
But yeah, 50 teams entered the quiz. So thanks if you came down to that, and even if you just came down for a bit of a look and a listen.
I think a lot of people came just to sort of do exactly that and answer the quiz, answer it in their heads really, rather than actually partake, which is good.
We had lots of good feedback about it, and the team, which is I'm paraphrasing their team name because it's a little bit rude. Happiness is my rod. It's probably the best way I could say it. And well done to them for winning. They won by about 10 points, a big clear margin. But yeah, very deserving winners. Thanks to everybody that came up and said thanks for the quiz, and it was good fun.
Yeah, I got thanked for the
Great
quiz.
got thanked, but it didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah.
So I was standing there with Marky Owens and Ali and what have you, going through it, and but there were some of the questions came up, and we were like, how the fuck is anybody meant to know that? And then you'd see people going writing things down straight away. Like,
Yeah. It was good because there were certain questions. The minute you read them out, the whole room goes, "Oh." You know you've got a good one there.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't allowed to enter. Otherwise, it would have been a little bit controversial.
Oh, here we go. He reckons he'd have won. Oh, right.
By about 14 points or something.
So
Yeah.
so he says, but you know,
I'll tell you another little mini story if I may, is for Chris Hayton.
yeah.
Their team came equal second. And about 12 years ago, they came last when they were the dirty protesters. They got 1 point.
Chris came equal second.
Equal second. Well, his team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
essentially Wixie. With
You
everyone
could
else
have
sat
made the
around.
difference there. You could have made the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it happens again, please come along and see it. It's just good fun.
It's a good giggle.
We have, some we have run around.
Yeah.
We have run around.
And can you say what one of the spot prizes was?
Oh yes. We've talked about this earlier in the podcast, but Mr. Wood decided there would be a spot prize for the team that finished last. And what was that?
It was 2 bottles of matey bubble bath and a foot spa.
Now, this foot spa, had it been used by any chance?
Well, it's been used as a foot spa and then as a punch bowl, and now it's a prize for a quiz
I
competition.
think that the guy was genuinely quite pleased that they didn't come last until he walked in and you gave him the foot spa. It's like, what the fuck?
And if I remember rightly, male and female matey, isn't it?
Remember Louis Well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, if he's flying home,
Well, it was already came to me. I think it was French. I think it was French. He come to me and he goes, this has got an English plug.
then that plugs up its own again.
Oh dear.
Oh God.
But yes, that was Saturday lunchtime.
I don't know how I met
And
it.
then the Saturday night gig, as Tim mentioned, support band Haunt the Woods.
Stunning.
They went down an absolute.
Yeah.
So I'd listen. Obviously, Stephanie goes on about them quite a bit, and everybody that I hear says that they're really good. I've listened to them at times, but it never really clicked. It was really good. And I went in last night not really knowing what to expect live performance wise, and oh my god, blew
It's
me
a very
away.
distinctive voice he's got, and he's
And it is a hell of a voice.
yeah, but he sings really in falsetto a lot of the time.
Yeah.
A real
His
power.
yeah, I was going to say his range is phenomenal. Most people, when they go up into that, the head voice and what have you, it thins out.
Yeah.
His power throughout his entire ranges. It's like slightly heavier example, but the only person I can think of that does the same kind of thing really is Miles Kennedy.
Right.
He's got like a 4-octave range, and he can belt it at all of them and does that. And that's the not the rocky side of that, but he's got that range. It was amazing.
The bit they were really good. The bit that I loved was when they were surprised by the reaction of the crowd.
Yeah.
The guitarist, he was amazing, absolutely amazing, but he looked really unassuming. You know, he kind of shuffled to the front of the stage at the beginning of the gig.
Yeah.
But when he took his in-ears out and could hear the reaction.
Did you see his face at the end? He played the first blistering solo.
Yeah.
And the crowd just went mental. And you see, and his face just went like, what?
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, the singer, he was so humble and unassuming and thankful for the reaction. And the way he was talking was just like, it's almost like we're not worthy. And it was.
You could tell he was nervous because at the beginning of the gig they had the longest intro, a really quiet intro to a song, and he's pacing up and down behind the band, wasn't he? He was either getting himself in the zone or nervous. But I'm so pleased that how they were received.
I think all four of the band as well are worth a mention because I thought the drumming was great.
Yeah.
It
It was
was
solid.
and they're playing it really quiet, like off the level quiet to really loud, doesn't it? You know, same with the guitars and everything, and the bass.
And the
bass
bass,
goes on the keyboards after.
Yeah.
You could see the reaction after each song was getting better and better and better. You know, people are really getting into it.
And the last three, I don't know any of them record. I'm gonna have to go and sort of Google the set list or what have you. But those last three songs were stunning, and the power, and because the second last one started on the acoustic and it built up, and then he went back to the acoustic. He did the riffy bit, and as soon as he started doing the riffy bit, the whole crowd was clapping. It was just, it was really, really good.
Did you film them, Tim? I think
We ran cameras on them last night. Yeah, we filmed them once before. Last year, they did a little gig at St Pancras Old Church in London, and they had some strings and stuff with them for that. That's not seen the light of day yet, but yeah, we ran cameras on them last night. John, who's the lead singer, is running Kernow Fest.
He announced it on stage just now.
So he's basically running that. So Marillion are playing that obviously in September, and that's in Lou, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's got together a really good bill.
Yeah.
Embracer on it as well. Various other people. So
the three people standing with me last night when he mentioned Kernow Fest went online on their phones and bought tickets.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Might be in a caravan next to us if you like.
God help them if they are,
So we can all just collectively keep our fingers crossed and pray for nice weather.
And it's funny because they didn't mention. I mean, I knew that Marillion were playing Kernow Fest, but he didn't mention it when he announced the festival last night, did he?
He didn't mention that.
He didn't say Marillion were playing. He just said we've got a festival.
But they're lovely chaps. All four of them are very, very open, very friendly, very grateful for the opportunities that they've had through Marillion, because they supported in Leicester last year as well, didn't they? Yeah. So
I don't remember them going down as well as that in Leicester, if I'm honest. I don't remember being that as impressed by them as I was last night. But they were great, really good.
I saw them in the Market Dome afterwards, and there was a crowd of people around them, and just that sort of stuff.
Tell your story about it.
Well, essentially, I told them to stop faffing around and dragged them down the Rocky Oakie.
What about the rest of the story? The bit that you said when you came in here?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll condense it, but as I was saying, I very, very rarely go over and sort of. I'm not starstruck, but go and chat on. We've got nothing to say, but I felt obliged to go and just thank him, if that makes sense. And I got up to him, and then someone stepped in front of me and started chatting. So I stood there patiently for about 5 minutes, and someone else came. Then I thought, can I swear? I thought, fuck this. Right. So I grabbed hold of Foxy and I goes, boys, do you want your photograph taken with me and Foxy? Shoved him into a corner, took it, snapped him on the back and said, we'll see you later, boys. And that was it.
So
I've got the photo. You
they're
could
traumatised now.
They'll never come back.
It's going down the Rocky Oaken.
So in the photos on the proper rabbit in the headlights.
Oh, it's brilliant. Then everyone else is just like piling on onto this picture. You know what I mean?
Really pleased for him. Really pleased for him. And then obviously the main event last night.
What the fuck?
Spoiler alert for those that haven't done the weekend yet, but
Yeah.
we got
Can I tell the mini story before we start?
yeah.
One of our campmates, we didn't ask, he just stole my sunglasses and put it onto a cabbage. So, which in itself is not a story, but then it meant at the gig I've no sunglasses to hide my crying. So when I was crying pretty much from Out of This World right through to the end of
we
King.
haven't said what they played yet.
Oh, and on these 3 fictitious songs that no one can guess what they are. Literally, I was crying, and obviously rivers of tears are running down my face. And then a random stranger came up and hugged me for about 5 minutes. Goes, I've never seen anyone cry as much as that. Wait, random stranger, God knows who he is.
You wait till tonight, mate.
Oh God!
A lot of that going
I
on.
can't take any more.
Well, they played "Afraid of Sunlight," didn't they?
They most certainly
In
did.
its
Obviously, a
entirety.
controversial album for me and John, because I mean, we'll freaking love it. Because it's one of those albums for me between Marbles. Who got that Thursday? Afraid of Sunlight.
Yeah.
If it had been Brave tonight, then I'd have been completely on the floor.
Yeah.
Because it would have been the 3 favourite albums.
Yeah.
But nah, to see Afraid of Sunlight live all the way through again, since it's been 2003 since the last played it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we mentioned on the first episode, there's no big video screen at the back this year, but they used a drape to project something onto. And again, that was really interesting. I thought the intro to Gazpacho was really good.
Yeah, Simon Ward came up with that, and the rejigged Invisible Man
Yeah,
intro.
yeah.
We filmed H doing that intro again at Racket a few weeks ago. I thought it was really effective the way that Simon mashed up, used a bit of that to get the younger H.
Yeah.
It's the bit
Yeah, clock
because
that.
he introduced the older image, the current image of H around the "I haven't changed" line, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But yeah,
So the young one looked good as well. The young one was like in his late 20s, sort of.
Yeah.
I think all that worked really well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, last night's was a kind of extended intro to Gazpacho.
Or as Wayfarer called it, oh, I love King. What?
Yeah, okay. Hi, Rich. Hope you've had a good weekend. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Gazpacho was a great start. I think the band H certainly seemed to be full of beans last night. He was jumping around. I think we're all getting used to his new hair now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Or his older. I don't know whichever way you
So
put it.
Wilson, my boy, at the start of the night, he's like, I'm used to him being a rock star, not a granddad. And then about 4 songs in, he went, nah, he's still a fucking rock star.
Yeah. I do wish I brought some plush the Dalmatians to kind of give them, but you know.
Stop it. But yeah, Gazpacho into Cannibal Surf Babe.
Yeah.
I was banging.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, yeah. The 2 young guys that I'm sharing a chalet with, one of them's never seen Marillion before, never heard of Marillion before Wednesday. Basically, coming with his best mate and his best mate's dad. And the Thursday night show, he was like, "Oh, that was really, really good." He came out of last night, and when he was Gazpacho, he was like just in awe of the lights and everything. And then Cannibal Surf Babe started going, and he just started doing this, and he was going. And at the end of the night, he went, I don't generally like this type of music. I'm into kind of really, really, really heavy metal music and all this kind of stuff. He says, that is possibly the best gig of my life.
Wow.
Listen.
Okay.
God knows what if he'd actually gone to the Royal Albert Hall. If that was his first
I know.
gig, he'd have keeled over.
Yeah.
I think it was the best gig of my life until tonight.
Yeah.
That's the best gig of my
You
life.
always say that, man.
What's the best convention? The next one.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best outlook to have. Cannibal Surf Babe into Beautiful, into Afraid of Sunrise, which they very rarely play. It's only really at conventions they do that, isn't it? Afraid of
They
Sunrise.
nailed Afraid of Sunrise.
Yeah.
They played it last time, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last.
Yeah.
But you don't really get that in a general
In a
set,
gig,
do you, anyway? And then on to the classic Out of This World.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who I stood next to? I'll tell you, it was Paul Stagg. And
Yeah.
he goes, that is the peak of anything they've ever written, and that's the best I've ever seen it. That's what he said last night. So he was plastered, obviously.
It was special.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, you enjoy it?
Oh,
Yeah. And then the title track.
Okay.
one of my favourite Marillion songs, full stop. So.
I thought, well, it's always a test for H, the end of that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you got
And
yeah,
he really nailed it last night. Yeah, he really nailed it. But yeah, it was great. And then Beyond You, I thought was amazing.
Yes, and we're going to apologise to Mikey for missing Beyond You because it's his favourite song. So he absolutely loves that.
Yeah, I was sort of had a bit of a moment. One of my friends passed away last year, and that's what it really hit me.
Did it?
Yeah, really bad. Yeah.
So the dad of the guys in our chalet,
Yeah.
his wife passed away, I think, about 2.5 years ago, and during a Fridays night, he just went. Look, he was like, he says that's my favourite song on that album, and he says, and I can't listen to it now. And he's just floods.
Yeah.
Could have borrowed my sunglasses for the World Cup.
We're thinking of a cabbage. Because wrestle it off a cabbage, yeah.
Yeah, they missed out on the merch this time for sunglasses for embarrassed middle-aged men for crying.
Hey, nothing embarrassing about it.
Let it out. Don't bottle it up. Let it out.
No. And then obviously the big finish of the main set with King.
Yeah, this is really good. In a weird way, obviously I've probably heard it many, many times, as you can all imagine, but I've sort of heard different, it affected me in a different way. It seemed a lot darker.
Do you think?
Yeah, and I don't know why. It was just, the way it was sung, it just sounded really, the desperate stories of a rock star really having a tough time, which it's never really got it like that before. I know that's the story.
I think the end of it, H really got, I mean, he was into it anyway, but you know, the bit at the very end about, you know, I can't remember the lyric now, but he really was in the moment.
In character.
I thought it was really, really dark. I always like dark music, so that's not a problem. That's great, but it really took a different level to me for some reason. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And then we had a bit of a break, so that appears to be a bit of a theme now. 10-minute break in the middle of a gig.
Tell you what, I think that's 100% approved by everybody. Not one person's grumbled about that break.
Apart from the bar staff, who don't approve of it. Yeah, they hate it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to stay. That is a feature, definitely.
And then we got, technically it was the Encores, I suppose, wasn't it? The first of which was the New Kings.
And that went, yeah.
Very timely.
Yeah. It was almost, I was almost thinking about squeeze some new words in or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's some, so you don't want to get into political stuff, but it's sort of it's very timely, but it's almost telling a story from a few years back simultaneously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as we know, the Fear album's getting more and more relevant day by day.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's always there was somebody that hadn't heard it before that spoke to us, and they said, "Is that a new song?" And I'm like, "No, that was like we were talking about 10, 11 years ago."
No, it's 2017, so it's not that long.
I think technically that's foreboding, isn't it?
8 years.
It's 8 years ago. Sorry, 8 years ago. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, but it's really relevant." I went, "Yeah, but it was relevant then as well." Think about, you know.
Yeah. And then following that, it was the only technical fuck up of the night. They started to play Waiting to Happen.
Yeah.
Wrong colour guitars.
Well, no, it was weird because it all seemed to be going all right.
Yeah.
And then Pete walked across to H, and then they stopped playing it. But Rothers had got the guitar that wasn't detuned, which it should have been.
Yeah.
But according to Mr. H, was the wrong colour.
Yeah. So he had the guitar that was standard tuning.
Yeah.
And
So they stopped and swapped guitars and started again. But yeah, it was good because I think H was trying to sort of beckon Pete across, wasn't he, and put his arm around him and carry on playing. But Pete had come across because it wasn't right.
But it's funny
because he was wanting to have his arm around Pete. Yeah.
It was funny though because H went, "It sounded all right to me."
It's like singer though, you know. What do you do? But yeah, when they did start it up again, brilliant to hear that again.
And also a lot of audience participation during Waiting to Happen, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
It was really good.
Speaking of which, though, that only set us up for the karaoke version of Sugar Mice, didn't it?
Do you want my story?
Yeah, go on.
So, my lad's been listening to Marillion since All One Tonight, but he loves the earlier albums as well. And he's never seen Sugar Mice live. And he was at the start of the show is, I hope they play something like, I know they won't, but I hope they play something like Sugar Mice. And then just before, at the end of waiting to happen, he's like, Dad, I need to go get my painkillers because he's got a bad shoulder. I went, yeah, not a problem. So I went off for a pee. He came out, and as I came back out the toilet, I heard the first notes of Sugar Mice. Oh, fuck. So on my FaceTime, I went, guess what? And I held up my FaceTime and held it up for that. And as I held up FaceTime and they started singing, and my lad's watching me, and he's actually got his phone and he's staring at it, and I started crying.
Oh.
And I was in absolute floods of tears, but I didn't even sing a word. And I love the song. Everybody singing, all this kind of stuff. My lad watching it live on FaceTime and all this kind of stuff. And a guy, I have no idea who he was.
We're the same guy.
Walked up to me, gave me a massive hug, put his head next to mine and went, it's all right, mate. Let it out. Let it out. You're in friends. You're among friends. And then just walked off. And I was like, and that just set me off again. And then my lad came back at the end of the song. He came back in just after it. And I walked past Wayne and Marky.
Yeah.
And they just sort of looked at me and went, come here, Gizog. I've never been hit by that song like that. But then you'll know from the post, I missed his first 10 birthdays because of the work I used to do. Yeah. And that bit, the government sent me away. And the toughest thing that I ever did was talk to the kids on the phone. Just fuck it.
We've recorded 2 podcasts with you in this room.
We've cried on both.
Both times you've cried.
It was a fight.
I've cried.
Right now.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh.
I blame the alcohol, mate.
Yeah.
Why haven't I thought about this stuff?
You know.
Oh,
Yeah, no. Yeah.
This is what the band does to you.
it is.
You know, this is why you followed for so long. This is why, you know, because it's deep inside you.
Yeah.
You all right, mate?
I am. Yeah, and that's what you want. That's why I like Marillion.
Yeah. That's why we all love it. You know, it's about the relationships we've made as well. And then they went off, and we thought that was it, didn't we? But they came back on and went into the classic "Mad" from Brave.
Toilet break for me.
Remember that?
Heresy. From their 20th best album. Burn him, lads.
Jesus, how did you get on here?
Yourself a fan. It's in the top 20, that album, that's all I can say.
Yes, right at the top. I think you'll find. It was weird because they took a left into Great Escape, didn't they?
I was just out the toilets then, man.
Yeah.
See, this is it. You know, 2 of my favourite songs of all time tonight, on that night, with Afraid of Sunlight and The Great Escape. You know, it's just...
Yeah. And then finished with Hooks in You.
Yeah.
Hooks.
That's right.
Greggy.
Yeah. It was an amazing set.
It was a good finish. Yeah.
Also with numerous inflatable balloons.
Yes.
Yeah, which was great.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it wasn't going to end with Hooks in You. I thought we were going to get something like Between You and Me or Cover My Eyes in with it.
Yeah.
Just to keep the balloons going for another 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's good. I think
I think we had Rocking All Over the World after that one.
not bad, but yeah. I think they're being very sensible. The sets aren't over long, and they've got to play 3 of them, so they're being sensible about it now.
And obviously it's a standing gig, and it's, people of a certain age and legs and things and stuff.
It's fair enough, isn't it?
I mean, at least Graham was limbered up with the yoga and things.
I did yoga on Saturday as well. I'm surprised I made it actually because I was up for the Rockyoke on Friday night as well. So I did that. Yeah, because I sang Elton John on. Yeah. Shit, so I did. I sang Elton John on Friday night.
Did you say?
I sang Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
All right.
Oh my God! You're an absolute pool of tears this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great gig.
And then poor Tim was stuck in the back room.
Yeah.
Till
how did your evening end, Tim?
My evening always ends by taking all the footage back to my cottage and transferring it onto hard drives and backing it up, and yeah, it's really rock and roll.
How much is it? I mean, like size-wise. I mean, is it terabytes or is it?
Yeah, it's terabytes.
Terabytes.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
We haven't filmed in 4K this time. We don't need to really because the output of it is just at the most it's going to go to Blu-ray, so that keeps the file size down.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are certain cameras that we use that we do film 4K.
Yeah.
But it's still terabytes. Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah.
A lot of information in it.
And the thing is, I mean, do we really want to see our heroes in 4K? You'd have to put smear Vaseline on the lenses.
It's bad enough looking at him with my eyes.
All right.
Also, if we're talking techie, as Tim will no doubt know, in this modern era, there are ways to upscale things and things like that, which I'm sure Tim knows all about.
Yeah.
So, the cameras are so good and they shoot at such a high quality. You're all, no matter what you do, you're reducing the quality to stick on your DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. Anyway,
It's quite incredible because the concert that's on the TSE reissue from Holland, that was a single camera thing from back in the day.
Yeah.
I put it through upresing and AI enhancement, and if you watch them side by side, then the difference is
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity to go back and look at some of the early?
Yeah, I'm doing something for H at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
For something that's he's wanting to put out in the next year or so. So
He's talked about it.
yeah, well, the ice cream genie
Yeah.
machine. Yeah. So I've got an old Dutch concert, I think,
brilliant.
and
Yeah.
I've only really just had it, but it looks very ropey at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that.
So you're going to do a George Lucas and put extra stuff in. Special edition.
Extra monsters and droids.
I know it's way off topic, but I kind of find sometimes I watch 4K stuff and I feel uncomfortable because it's too crisp. It's not.
yeah.
It's not how you actually see things.
Yeah. This could be the subject matter for a whole.
This is the technical bonus episode.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back on
It's
this.
the second half of the Barnes TED Talk about how the
Our distribution in Western Europe.
But that's where we are in the weekend, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. What have I missed out?
No, now the night gets started.
Oh, okay.
Off to the Rocky Okie Island.
So, hang on a minute.
Oh, the conga.
Hang on a minute.
Conga.
Warning for all our listeners. Put the children in another room. Okay.
First thing, last night was the night where John had an early night.
I did.
Which ruined a couple of things, but we'll not.
Yes,
we couldn't tell you because it was meant to be a surprise.
You still haven't told me. As far as he knows.
So we
You're going to have to say what it is now, because
Do I? All right. Yeah. So obviously, Saturday night, shit shirt night. And there was all sorts of things.
it was shite shirts anyway, but it was also in memory of James Green.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so it was green,
And some
yeah.
of the people who have
Yeah.
Norma.
Yeah, so it was done as a sort of in memory of or in memoriam thing and what have you. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think somebody thought you'd have a demise anyway, because when he turned up and he took off his jacket, he had a lovely shirt on.
Mark
was
Owens.
Mark Owens, Marky, this is for you. And it was just John Merrick's face plastered all over the shirt.
I saw that.
In different sizes.
That's it.
It was just like all these different sizes and shapes of like stretched out. And I'm like, where did you get it? He went, Facebook. I went, how? He went, you can put a photograph on a shirt, so I just picked that one.
So I was walking back from front of house and I saw this shirt, but it was from the back. I honestly thought I thought it was a man himself.
Who the fuck would wear a shirt with their own face on it?
Oh, I don't know.
No! Maybe Mr. Woody.
I would. To be fair, you have worn a shirt with your own face on it before.
We did
Kinky
the
boy.
Marvel shirt. That's different. I wore a shirt with my dog's face on it last year.
Why not?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so last night was the first night we brought him home, tucked him in bed, me and David went back out again.
I just hit the wall. We were, all that standing about. I love the gig, but to give myself a chance for today, I just had to go.
And considering we've had 8 nights.
Yeah. I feel better for it today, which is good.
Yeah, so we had the Rocky Okie,
Yes.
yeah, which was brilliant. Someone stole my song. Really, well, it didn't.
What's your song?
So there was a guy who went up to sing Duran Duran Rio,
All right.
and they didn't have it. It was not even on the list.
Right.
So he said, "What do you want to sing instead?" And he went, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." And I was like,
Oh, that's just when I arrived.
that was the song. And then 2 minutes after that, they called my lad up, and my lad sang Tenacious D tribute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good.
It was fun, and we had Mike Barton
Yeah.
led the conga.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be singing because he's voice.
No, he led the conga and threw that around the Rocky Okie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, again, a good night. I don't know how I've managed to get up.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. You've reverted to type though, haven't you? All this healthy thing at the beginning of the weekend's gone now.
But that's so I could last the weekend, you see. I sort of paced myself.
That's my justification for
Yeah.
going to bed at a reasonable hour last night. But yeah.
Yeah, I managed to get the on the last song for a bit of bow rap, running rap.
Did you?
At the end, yeah. I'm not convinced my microphone was turned on, if I'm wholly honest, but I thought I'd just do the actions anyway, so that was good. Darren was on. Darren, the only 4 of us, Darren, that Welsh guy. What's the Welsh guy called? Not Mark. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's four of us. We somehow came from all sides of the thing and ended up on stage. It was quite funny.
I think your mic's set at the same level as Peter Wows's. So
Or similar to how the plug H is.
I'm going to say, similar to H's guitar, yeah.
yeah.
Say that.
Yeah.
Said it.
It's a brilliant podcast. It's a brilliant podcast. But that's where we are on the weekend.
No. We haven't.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, what else
It
happened?
was the Australian Grand Prix, so everyone stayed up in our place to watch the Australian Grand Prix. That's it.
Slightly small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's all that.
That's why I didn't.
Sorry,
That's why I didn't answer your message until 20 minutes beforehand because I was dead to the world.
Let's have
do
a
you know how
party.
sad I am? I got up at 5 to watch it, and my wife's watching it, and my daughter's watching it, so I couldn't get on the Sky account. Fucking hell. So you watched the F1?
I went to bed at 3:30, but they were still going. It was on so loud. It's like, fuck
He
it.
went to bed at 3:30 and he was here at 10:30.
Yeah, because we got back, the five of us sat, we had a few beers back in the room after the Rocky Okie and what have you. So I don't know what time I went to my bed.
Okay.
And then
All right. Are you pleased that Lando won?
So I must admit, I'm past caring who wins what nowadays. I just
Mansell's doing it.
He didn't.
yeah, I'm past caring who. It's a bit the same. MotoGP and F1 now. I kind of lost interest in the individuals. I just like it as a sport.
All right. Well, my daughter Nat, who does listen to this, is a massive F1 fan, but she's a Leclerc fan, so Ferrari didn't do so well, did it?
Yeah.
This is like you talking about Star Trek.
There's one last thing to review, if I may.
Go on.
Arrived at John and Grae and they offered up something which they're trying to pass off as tea.
No, that was a gift from the Kennedys. Stop it.
Kennedys, this is the worst tasting tea I've ever had.
Do you know what it is? It's because it
I'll
wasn't.
tell you what, it isn't tea. That's what it
It
is.
wasn't made in a football for you. That's why.
Exactly.
And on that bombshell.
We offered Barnsley a choice, and he chose tea.
Yes,
On that bombshell, we would just like to say thank you to Graham Tennick,
Thanks for having me again.
Andrew Barnsley Wood,
Hello there, thank you very much and goodbye. With this.
Tim Sidwell,
Goodbye, everybody.
Hanfeg Houston,
Right, thank you, sir.
Sleepy Dave, who stood on the stairs.
Are you finished yet?
Yo, we're finishing now. We're finishing now. Here's Dave.
Hi, you right?
Yeah. It's good night from me.
And it's a good afternoon from him.
Take care.
Stay alive.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out marillion.com, fishmusic.scot